Hey everyone, the Canucks and Oilers have made a trade. Welcome back to the channel. Podkolzin getting moved from Vancouver to Edmonton for a 4th round pick, originally acquired from Ottawa. So the Canucks only get a 4th round pick for Podkolzin, who was a 10th overall pick in the 2019 NHL draft. I look at Podkolzin, I mean, you know what? He had all the tools. He had all the skill sets to become an NHL player, and just the bouncing back and forth. I mean, I've talked about it with players at that 20 to 21 year age. You have to be careful with the bouncing back and forth, or at least pushing him to the NHL and then obviously not getting a consistent chance. I think also talking about playing overseas to playing into the NHL ice, the North American ice, I think that's been a challenge for Podkolzin as well. So you look at Podkolzin, he hasn't had consistent numbers. I mean, when you look at a stretch of like 20 games, he's only got a couple points. It's been kind of that for Podkolzin with Vancouver. And I've already seen comments from like Buffalo Sabres fans. You look at like 7 spots later in that draft, Peyton Krebs, who was drafted by Vegas at the time, now with Buffalo, bottom 6 guy, 4th line guy. He hasn't had as much AHL time as Podkolzin, but similar situation where Sabres fans, this is probably what you're going to get for Peyton Krebs. Not much. 4th, 5th round pick. And it's shocking, right? Podkolzin, for Vancouver's case, 10th spot in that draft. You could have got, Matthew Boldy, Cole Caulfield. Like, that's a tough look for the Canucks. So the Canucks have made some great moves in recent memory. You have to give Patty Alvin major credit. This one's a tough pill to swallow probably for a lot of Canucks fans. At the same time, he probably wasn't making the roster. Right? I think you have higher hopes with Höglander, for one. You got like a BC boy in Danton Heinen, who you're going to try to give an opportunity in that top 6. And yeah, there's other opportunities there, like a Jake DeBrusk, for example. So Podkolzin, he was probably going to be given a shot on the 4th line. And could the Edmonton Oilers give Podkolzin an opportunity? I mean, Matthew, who reports on the St. Louis Blues, talking about could Podkolzin be like a Holloway light replacement. I mean, Dylan Holloway's proven a lot more at the NHL level than Podkolzin, but the Oilers, they might have to go bargain bin shopping here in a way, build around their core. They've got Arvidsson, they got Skinner for cheaper. So I wonder. I have been saying, and the Oilers, as of right now, have the next day or two to decide if they're going to match the Holloway and going to match the Broberg offer sheets from St. Louis. I've been confident that they're not going to match the Broberg one. Too expensive for that defenseman at this time, even though I have higher hopes for Broberg as a top 4 guy in St. Louis. Holloway interests me, and he showed really big signs, especially in the playoffs, some big goals, playing with Draisaitl, getting that top 6 opportunity. I like Holloway a lot. So if you're Edmonton and you're acquiring Podkolzin as a replacement for that, I mean, I think it's a little disappointing. And then you look at kind of a comment like this from Brendan, more folks around the Canucks. Podkolzin would have had serious uphill climb to make the Canucks roster with the depth pieces they've added, and he's no longer waiver exempt. Another example of Rutherford Alvin jumping the market rather than trying to move him with only a few days of runway after camp. So I get this perspective, but at the same time, I'll give an example. Like, Canucks and Leafs once upon a time made a trade. Sam Lafferty, it was for a 4th, 5th round pick around there. And Canucks fans were celebrating. Leafs fans were like, that's it. Sometimes you have to look at the market for like depth guys, or at least guys that have only proven depth production, and realize that you're only going to get a draft pick like this. And it sucks. I wonder what the Oilers are going to do next in terms of the offer sheet stuff. My prediction, like I said, I think they still try to keep Holloway, but they're not going to get many favors around the league. I have a feeling they've been trying to trade Kulak or CC, so that would be the next trade. I mean, I've talked about it a little bit. I know there's been rumors around Kulak maybe going back to Montreal. I'll just kind of say this now. I should have probably put it on the screen, but I would look at some depth options even in Montreal, like a Jake Evans, or I know Jordan Harris on the defensive side. He's wanted, or there's been rumors that he's wanted a trade or a change of scenery. So I could see a team like Montreal, Edmonton calling on. Maybe Montreal would appreciate a draft pick included, or a team like that, like I said. So Anaheim, Montreal, look at teams like that to maybe over the next 24 hours make a move with Edmonton. I could see Edmonton making one more move, trying to create some potential there, and we'll see. I think at the very least they're going to lose one of Broberg Holloway. I think it's going to be Broberg. I think maybe they try to make another move to create the space for Holloway. If not, maybe they still do it and then just figure it out. Like, they could be sending some guys down that could hit the waiver wire too. So keep an eye on that, guys. Hit that subscribe button, like, notification bell. But as I said, Podkolzin going to the Edmonton Oilers for a 4th round pick. Last thing I'll say on a Canucks fan perspective, I'm sure Canucks fans are frustrated that he's going to Edmonton of all teams. Like, you're probably trying to avoid Edmonton, Calgary, teams like that. But hey, in recent memory, the Canucks and Flames, for example, have made a lot of trades. Clearly, the Canucks are not afraid to trade in division and with their Canadian rivals out west. So, yeah, like I said, guys, hope to see you more on the channel, and we'll see what Edmonton, Vancouver do the rest of the way leading into training camp, specifically Edmonton, because they've got some big moves over the next 24 hours to debate. Talk soon, guys. Peace.